Everybody, my name is Thomas Bliss. I work at ICARUS in the Netherlands, and I was coordinator of the ICARUS project in the past 2 years. In this presentation, I'm going to present to you the key results of the project, which is about improving the uptake of climate change adaptation in the decision-making processes of road authorities. The ICARUS project started in June 2022 and lasted until 2024. And it is a CEDAR research project from the call in 2021 on climate change resilience. The project has been undertaken by Deltaris, Technalia, Ramble, Research Driven Solutions, and Maple Consulting. The main ICARUS objectives are to provide guidance and guidelines on how to build and implement the business case for resilience via adaptation by balancing the service levels that the road network needs to achieve with the costs and benefits for enhancing resilience. So the project is really about how to make sure that the road network is as resilient as is required from the road network, and in case adaptation measures are needed to cope with climate change, to make sure that the costs of these measures are balanced with the benefits of the measures, and it is made sure that these adaptation measures find their way into the daily operations of the road authorities. So it is really key to ensure that existing research as well as the new ICARUS research can be implemented in practice by the national road authorities as well as by their supply chain stakeholders. We use the following framework to make sure that everything that has been developed in ICARUS is placed in the right context. So this is a resilience framework in 6 stages. And the first one is about framing. It's about understanding, okay, what is the current situation? Where are we now? Then it's about looking towards the future and understanding, okay, if I just continue my business as is, business as usual, how are things then being done? What are the impacts of that situation? Then you can do a similar resilience assessment by considering adaptation options to try to improve the service that the road network provides to society. So this is about the question, what could we do to enhance the service and to enhance resilience? Then the key step of the ICARUS project comes at stake, which is about making the decision case for adaptation. So how to balance the benefits that are gained by the adaptation options with the costs that come with these measures, and how to make sure that this can be implemented in the daily processes of the road authorities. So how to decide what to do. And then the final 2 steps come, which are about implementing the strategy, so to make sure how to do what has been decided, and to monitor and evaluate what has been learned while going through this entire process. The ICARUS project did research in the past 2 years, and it has been presented in several reports. The deliverables that are listed here, I will go through them really briefly, but I recommend you to take a look on the website to look at them and to read them in detail, or to use the other videos that are available in the resource training pack also on the website, in which you will be guided through these outcomes using video and PowerPoint slides. So we have a baseline report on determining impacts and risk due to climate change. That's deliverable 1.1. And 1.2 is about how to understand the resilience of the roads by developing impact chains, by diving into the vulnerability and the hazard classification. Deliverable 2.2 is also a baseline report, which is about, okay, what are the service levels that need to be achieved? What's the minimum service that needs to be there to serve the society? And what decision frameworks exist? And how is resilience normally being evaluated? While considering this baseline, Deliverable 2.2 provides guidance on connecting to the decision context of the road authorities. So how to use the performance metrics that are being applied by the road authority to make the case for adaptation. That's the key question of this deliverable. Then in deliverable 2.3, we make it more practical and really provide guidelines with recommendations on the implementation of resilience and adaptation options. And in this guideline also an overview is provided of the adaptation options itself. So what measures can be taken to enhance the resilience. And this is being listed in a big database of adaptation options. Deliverable 3.1 is another baseline report, providing the current evidence base of using cost-benefit analysis for assessing road infrastructure projects. And this baseline is also used to determine how benefits and co-benefits can be used to find the sweet spot, the optimum of the optimum service to which a road authority can try to reach by taking adaptation options. And in deliverable 3.2, this is demonstrated with a case study on how the adaptation measures can be evaluated and can be used to find this sweet spot of optimum service levels. Deliverable 4.2 is specifically dealing with nature-based solutions. This gives an overview of all the other guidelines and reports that have been delivered in the ICARUS project, but then specifically aiming at those points that are important to consider when thinking about nature-based solutions. And then finally, deliverable 4.3 is the resource training pack, which can be found on the website, and it consists of several videos, PowerPoint slides, quiz questions, and frequently asked questions dedicated for specific audiences to make sure that all the output generated finds its way into the right audiences. Very briefly, the key findings of the ICARUS project are listed here. So we found that already a lot of good resilience frameworks exist out there. A lot of research has been done in the past, and these can be used and applied in practice. There's no need to develop yet another resilience framework. Key question is how to make sure that these resilience frameworks are going to be used and how they are going to be used such that the results of the resilience assessment finds its way into the decision-making processes of the road authorities. And therefore the second key finding is important. It's really key to connect the resilience and adaptation assessments to the decision context of the road authorities. So if road authorities make decisions for all kinds of things, so not only for climate change, but also for rehabilitation, for aging, for maintenance, for whatever, there is a process often connected to the asset management. And it is key that the same criteria and indicators and key KPIs that are being used in this decision-making context, that these are also the ones that are being produced in the resilience and adaptation assessments. Only in that way the decisions can be made. And equally important in that respect is to make sure to engage all managerial levels at road authorities. So the strategic level, the tactical level, as well as the operational level. All three have their role in assessing and evaluating the resilience of the road authorities and to make the decisions on what adaptation options can or should be taken. Important in that respect is to understand and close the tactical gap. And in easy terms, this means that it should be more researched and better understood how changes at the asset and object level of roads, how they lead to changes in the service that the network provides to society. This is a niche or a gap in the research and in the literature that needs to be closed in order to make sure that adaptation finds its way into implementation. And then finally, consider nature-based solutions as they oftentimes provide good alternatives to grey or structural solutions. All these outcomes are in these deliverables, and they are connected to the ICARUS framework that I presented before. And here below you see how the different deliverables connect to the different steps in the ICARUS framework. More information can be found on the website, which is icarus.project.cedar.eu. And the arrow is pointing at the dissemination tab, where you can find all the deliverables as well as the resource training pack. I hope you enjoyed this presentation, and I only can recommend you to have more information via this website. Thank you.